And the mini business course that I want to do with you, Nigel, is, you talked about that your journey of where you, when you were stuck, you were done with being mediocre. And I think a lot of people are in that phase of their life trying to figure out what is that, that small little shift, that 1% movement where they can move from, mediocre to that next percent. And sometimes the difference between mediocre and excellence is a very small sliver. And so what are 3 things that people can do who are feeling mediocre, take their business, their life, whatever it is? This is a little mini business course, take their business to the next level out of mediocrity.
Only 3 things, John. Honestly,
3 things today. 3 things today. Yeah.
Have you seen the movie The Dark Knight Rises?
Yes.
Do you remember the part when he's in the prison and he has to get out of the prison?
Vaguely.
Well, basically, for anyone who can't remember, Batman has to get out of a prison to go and save Gotham, right? And he's got to jump across this ledge. And he keeps trying to jump across the ledge holding a rope. And he keeps failing. So he goes back down to the bottom of the prison. One of the prisoners said to him, "Why don't you jump without the rope? Let the fear of death drive you towards your destination because you believe it's possible." What happens is he gets up on the ledge, everyone's supporting, everyone's chanting. He drops the rope, he makes the jump, and he gets there to the other side, and he goes and saves his city. The reason I'm telling that story is because this is exactly what entrepreneurs, but anyone in life who wants to go and achieve more has to go through. It's the uncertainty, but you've got to take the leap of faith. Whether that's quitting your job, whether that's hanging out with new people, whether that's cutting some old friends out that you don't want to hang around with anymore. Ultimately, it's not going to feel good. And jumping and believing and then getting there to the other side, it builds massive, massive conviction. And that's where you learn the most about yourself. My favorite quote, bar none, is from Winston Churchill, which is, "One man with conviction will overwhelm 100 who have only opinions." Whether it's sales, whether it's leadership, anything in business, anything in life, if you have deep-rooted conviction because you jumped with uncertainty, without the rope, and you got there to the other side, just trust me when I tell you, you'll have such a deep energy that will attract so many people, and you'll just go so far in life. So I kind of encompass quite a few things into that one. The other one that I'll say is standards. Standards is everything. And most people just don't have good standards. And because they're so worried about pleasing other people, they just drop their standards. They don't do what they know they can do. And my advice, and by the way, you're going to piss some people off. I'm telling you here, it's okay to do that. Never, ever let anyone negotiate your own internal standards, because those people that you're worried about their opinions of, when you're about to die on your deathbed, they're not going to be there. You are going to be there. You're going to be the only person in your head when you close your eyes and take that last breath that has to think back and flash back through your life and think, did I make the most of this life? Because imagine if you've got questions of what if, because you didn't live up to those internal standards, now you've got a dire of regret. So whatever your pain you're feeling in life right now, it's nothing in comparison to that last breath of regret that you're going to face if you don't improve your standards, listen to yourself, and realize your full potential.
Yeah. Standards, regret. I remember when I was telling you the story earlier about my now company that I have, I had met with a mentor, and as I was leaving, they said, if you do nothing, you'll regret it for the rest of your life. Yeah. Yeah. It's a very powerful thing to share. What's number 3?
Yeah. Number 3 is, environment. Definitely environment. They actually did a study on, in terms of people's net worth, and the biggest thing that impacts people's net worth. And it's literally where you live, what location you live in. So that tells us, and if you read a book from James Clear called Atomic Habits, which is really good.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
I'm actually reading it again right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just took a masterclass.com with him, but I took it and I'm reading the book again, but it's a must read. Yeah.
100%. I couldn't agree more. And especially if you apply it to, but you can apply it to anything in life, right? And ultimately, your environment governs everything. And something that I inherently just don't understand, I think it's because obviously, you know, again, going back to jumping with the rope, you have to be comfortable with getting uncomfortable. But I don't know, people spend so much time, you know, figuring out what car they're going to buy, figuring out where they go on holiday, figuring out what job they want. But no one spends that much time thinking about where they live. Like, they spend a bit of time, but considering how much impact that has on your life and also who you hang around with, like, if you want to get ahead in life, do this. Audit where you live. Do people, let's say, for example, you want to have more success in business. What's the average net worth of the people in your area? If it's low, get into a different one or figure out a pathway to get there. Audit your friends. I know it might sound ruthless, but I'm telling you, you want the honest, brutal advice if you're going to be successful. A lot of my friends used to go out drinking all the time. And guess what? So was I. So I cut them all off and I started hanging around with people who get an afterlife, who don't judge me for not drinking alcohol or doing what I want to do, working all the time. They empower me. So again, audit your friends, audit your environment and design it. And again, I'll tell you this, it's okay. It's okay to do that. And if anyone tells you it's not okay, get rid of that person, because you're never going to have success in life if you can't control your environment. It has such a monumental impact. Because the last thing I'll say on that, rounding it back to what you said, John, we do have 80,000 thoughts today. Where do you think your thoughts come from? They come from your influences. Where do you think your influences come from? They come from your environment. So if you put yourself, if you're in a room with 5 people every single day that make $10 million a year, just by the sheer fact you're in that room listening to those conversations, the likelihood of you being able to get there 10 times faster, it's the biggest shortcut you can take. Like, really, one of the main only shortcuts, most of them are faults. Designing your environment, auditing everything, and then controlling it and doing what you want and living in a place you want and hanging around the people you want, that's a shortcut in life.
Yeah.
So
amen to that. And I'm sure people can learn more about all of these in an extension, because you said earlier, only 3 in the David to Goliath newsletter.
Yes. Yeah. I've just actually released the origin story as of the time recording today, where I reveal all the lessons I've learned in entrepreneurship so far, sharing all the skeletons of my closet, and obviously climbing off the canvas of death. And just really the uncut life of an entrepreneur, man. Yeah. You know, it's not easy, but hopefully people learn a few things. Yeah, so I appreciate it.
Good. This was great. This was a great mini business course, Nigel.